The Kraft Foods Company presents Harold Perry as the Great Gildersleeve. The Great Gildersleeve is brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company, makers of the famous cheese food Velveeta. Everybody goes for Velveeta's rich yet mild cheddar cheese flavor in snacks, in sandwiches, and in hot dishes. And hidden in that swell cheese flavor are important nutrients from milk. That's why smart homemakers keep Velveeta on hand regularly to spread or slice and to melt for grand economical hot dishes. Tomorrow, get Velveeta, the cheese food of Kraft quality. Well, the great Gildersleeve came home early this evening, and there's been much activity upstairs. Now, showered, shaved, and immaculate, his rotund figure cleverly camouflaged in a new spring suit, he descends to much activity downstairs.
This is going to be a wonderful evening.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, and you shoo your blues away.
Well, Bertie.
My, Mr. Gildersleeve, you sure do look nice.
Thank you, Bertie. New suit. The dinner coming along all right, Bertie?
Yes, sir. When you got chicken and dumplings, everything's rosy, and that's what we got, chicken and dumplings.
Yeah, great. I want the evening to be perfect.
What time you expect Miss Fairchild over?
Around 6:30, Bertie. We'll have dinner at 7. And then Miss Fairchild and I will repair to the living room.
Yes.
So you might close the sliding doors, Bertie, so we won't be disturbed by the kitchen noises.
You can count on Bertie to cooperate. She knows when you want to be alone.
No, Bertie. Oh, my goodness, this dining room furniture looks awful. Did you polish it, Bertie?
I tried, Mr. Gildersleeve, but you can't whip a dead horse.
Yes. Yes, I know. Ought to get some new furniture, I guess. Just been waiting for the children to grow up to do anything about it.
Well, you can go ahead any day now.
Yeah, I wonder. Look at that grease spot.
That's Leroy's seat.
Yeah, looks like he's been frying bacon on his chair bottom. What's this? A piece of bacon?
I'll scrub it again. Oh. Uh-oh. Is she here already?
Probably Judge Hooker, Bertie. I'm borrowing his diamond stick pin. Oh, every day is ladies' day with me.
Afternoon, Gildy. My, you're singing like a lark.
Hi, Judge. Come in for a minute.
And all spruced up this evening, too.
Uh-huh.
Look at that bow tie. You look like a fat Frank Sinatra.
Now, Judge, just because I'm wearing a bow tie for a change...
Why borrow my diamond stick pin if you're wearing a bow tie? Diamond stick pins simply aren't worn.
Those who have them wear 'em, Horace. Give it to me.
Now, take care of it, Gildy. You can return it to me tomorrow night at the Jolly Boys Club. You know, we have an important rehearsal for the coming Barbershop Quartet Society contest.
You bet, Horace. I wouldn't miss it. See you tomorrow night, then, and thanks for the stick pin.
Not at all. In my opinion, the Jolly Boys have a fine chance of reaching the finals at Oklahoma City in June.
All right, Judge. June's a long time off. Nice of you to drop by. Goodbye.
Say, that's your new Easter suit, isn't it, Gildy?
Oh,
Expecting someone special?
wouldn't you like to know?
I seem to detect tantalizing aromas emanating from the kitchen.
What?
Perhaps I should step back and exchange pleasantries with Bertie.
No, Judge. Bertie's pretty busy.
Evening, Bertie.
Evening, Judge.
Something smells awfully good back here.
Judge.
What are we having for dinner?
We?
We're having chicken and dumplings and Miss Adeline Fairchild.
Well, a most tempting menu.
You staying for dinner, Judge? Plenty for everybody.
The judge has to be running along, Bertie. Some other time, perhaps.
On the contrary, I have nothing to do this evening.
Plenty for everybody.
But, Bertie...
That's one thing you got to say for Bertie. When she cooks plenty for everybody.
All right, Bertie. We know there's plenty for everybody, but tonight may be a little, inconvenient.
Naturally, if I'm not welcome.
No, Judge. You loan me your diamond stick pin, you have a right to some dinner.
Well, thanks.
Bertie can fix you a plate here in the kitchen, and you can leave early.
Well,
Plenty for everybody.
thank you, Bertie, but I see your generosity is not shared by mine host. I bid you good evening.
Now, Judge, don't take it that way. After all, Adeline and I...
You don't have to explain, Gildersleeve. It's perfectly obvious that you're giving up your old friends for your new love.
Oh, no. Stay if you like, Horace, please. But if you must go here, I'll show you to the door.
No, don't trouble, Gildersleeve. I know my way out.
Stay back.
Ye gods, Bertie. Yes.
Gracious, Throckmorton, you have such a lovely family.
Oh, thank you, Adeline.
Thank you, Miss Fairchild.
Yeah, thanks.
More coffee for you, Adeline?
Well, it's so good. Just a teeny-weeny bit.
May I have more too, Uncle Mort?
Well, will half a cup do, Marjorie? Yes, only half a cup, since you're in a hurry.
Well...
Yeah, Marjorie's going over to Francie's for the evening. Francie's her girlfriend. Aren't you, my dear?
Well...
Yes, indeed. Don't want to keep Francie waiting.
Oh, I can go to Francie's any time. I love to hear Miss Fairchild tell about those wonderful Southern men.
Hey, Miss Fairchild, did you ever go out with a kissing governor?
Me?
Leroy?
What did I say?
Leroy, why don't you go to the movies? Leroy always goes to the movies on Friday night. Here, Leroy, here's 35 cents.
Gee, thanks, Elf, but I'll save it for the movies tomorrow night.
What's this?
They changed the bill tomorrow. I've seen King of the Palominos 3 times.
Well, maybe you'd like to excuse yourself and go up to your room and listen to your little radio. Leroy has his own little radio. You may be excused, Leroy.
Oh, gosh, there's nothing on I want to listen to.
Oh, my goodness.
Excuse me, monsieur, please.
Yes, Bertie?
Does anybody want anything else?
Adeline?
No, thank you, sir.
No, thanks, Bertie.
Okay, I'm going to close these sliding doors now like you said.
Why is she closing the parlor doors? We haven't had those closed.
To keep out the kitchen noises, Leroy.
Oh, I get it. Well, I guess I'd better be going to that movie. I've only seen it 3 times.
Mercy, Leroy is tall when he stands up and such a big, handsome boy. He has such a long, straight, beautiful nose.
Well, that's from our side of the family. We're very proud of the Gildersleeve nose.
He looks a lot like you, Throckmorton.
Well...
You think so?
And Marjorie's such a raving beauty.
Oh, no, Miss Fairchild, please.
Everybody says Marjorie takes after my side of the family, too.
Really? Well, I can't see the slightest resemblance.
Leroy, go to the movies.
Okay, I'm going. The shooting doesn't start till the second half.
It's liable to start any minute.
Oh, and now, Throckmorton, we're just getting to know each other. I hear Leroy plays the piano. He can't go until he plays the piano for me.
Oh, I can't play.
He's telling the truth, Miss Fairchild.
I don't think we better insist on Leroy playing tonight, Adeline. Wouldn't want to push him too fast. Marjorie, why don't you both go upstairs and Miss Fairchild and I can play? I mean, she can play and I'll sing. How about that, Adeline?
But, Throckmorton, I've heard you sing. Come on now, Leroy, you little cutie pie. We'll play a duet together.
Duet.
Gosh, I can't play a duet. Can't even play by myself. Nothing but a little bark.
A little bark, he says.
Oh, now you sit here on the bench by me, Leroy. Oh, that's right. Don't be bashful. We'll warm up with the anvil chorus, and all you have to do is hit that note right there.
Just one note? Oh, boy.
Get ready now. A 1, a 2.
Gee, this is easy. Hey, look out. No hands. Look at him, Lucky. He's doing it with his nose.
Leroy!
Look at me.
Leroy, stop that. Stop that, Leroy. Stop it.
Leroy, you're a caution.
Well, that'll do for tonight, children. Time for bed.
But, Throckmorton, we're just getting started. Let's form a trio and sing something, kid.
Well, okay.
Would you like to join us, kids, Throckmorton?
No, go ahead. Don't mind me. Us kids.
How about the big brass band from Brazil? Here's the sheet music.
Wonderful. Leroy, you take the part.
A rum-pa-pa-ka-see-ka-roo.
Wait a minute, Leroy. Let's all start together.
All right, now. A 1, a 2.
A rum-pa-pa-ka-see-ka-roo. A rum-pa-pa-ka-see-ka-roo. A rum-pa-pa-ka-see-ka-roo. That's the way they go.
I'm going.
3 brothers down in Rio had a noisy family
wonderful evening, Throckmorton?
Glad you enjoyed it.
The dinner was marvelous.
Uh-huh.
I don't know when I've had so much fun.
Excuse me.
I've never seen anything as funny as Leroy. What's the matter, Throckmorton?
Matter? Not a thing. Nothing at all.
Oh, something's wrong with you, I can tell. Now, you just confessed to little Adeline what it is, you hear?
Let's just skip it.
You seem so preoccupied all evening. You didn't add into the spirit of the party at all.
Party? Is that your idea of a party, Adeline? Now, if there'd been just the two of us...
You men, I declare. The minute you get interested in a girl, you become downright antisocial.
I can be as sociable as anybody. When we're alone...
Now, you stop acting like a big, spoiled baby, and I'll let you come over and have fun tomorrow night here at my house. It's Saturday night.
But Adeline, tomorrow night is Jolly Boy night. We've always gotten together on Saturday night.
Mr. Gildersleeve, down where I come from, Saturday night has always been Adeline's night.
Adeline's night?
Yes, sirree. If a girl's boyfriend doesn't take her out on Saturday night, she gets herself another beau.
Well, I'll come over later, after the Jolly Boys meeting.
Well, don't think for 1 minute I'm going to sit here all alone on Saturday night or wilting on the vine. I'll have you know I could have men calling on me as often as the bus runs.
Huh?
I haven't passed unnoticed whenever I've walked downtown here in Summerfield.
But, Adeline, if I'm not there to sing lead for the Jolly Boys...
I can't understand what's so attractive about going to the Jolly Boys. Just exactly what goes on down there, Throckmorton?
Nothing, Adeline. We just get together around the piano and sing.
Oh? Well, that gives me a marvelous idea. I'll just go on down with you and play the piano for you Jolly Boys.
Floyd Munson takes care of the piano playing. We never have women up at the Jolly Boys Club. I wouldn't think of suggesting it.
There always has to be a first time for everything, Throckmorton. It'd be such fun, just you, me, and the Jolly Boys.
Now, Adeline, don't you try to convince me against my better judgment.
Throckmorton.
Now, don't try any womanly wiles on me. It won't work.
But I'd like to go.
No, Adeline, No.
But I want to be with you, Throckmorton.
But, Adeline...
Now then, what's this about no women at the Jolly Boys?
Did I say that? Adeline, you've convinced me.
Uh-huh.
I think you should come along. You care to convince me again?
More from the great Gildersleeve in just a minute. By this last week in Lent, it gets pretty hard to think up something different for a meatless dinner, doesn't it? Well, ladies, here comes rich, golden Velveeta sauce to your rescue. This wonderful cheese sauce made with Kraft's famous smooth melting Velveeta transforms the most ordinary dish into something very special. Just take shirred eggs, for instance. Serve them on toast with plenty of that glorious Velveeta sauce, and the folks will be mighty happy. Satisfied, too, because Velveeta is so nutritious. Actually, it helps supply plenty of high-quality, complete protein, plus other important nutrients from milk. Now, here's all you do to make that swell cheese sauce. In the top of the double boiler, melt 1/2 pound of Velveeta. Be sure to get genuine Velveeta, the cheese food that always melts to perfection. Now, stir in 1/4 cup of milk, season to taste, and pour that velvet smooth sauce over your eggs or fish or vegetables, and listen to the hoorays from the family. There's a fine idea for this Friday's lunch or dinner, a grand idea for any day of the week. Tomorrow, you'd be smart to get Velveeta in the 2-pound loaf that keeps you stocked for snacks as well as for hot dishes. Get genuine Velveeta, the cheese food of Kraft quality. Now back to things in Summerfield. Helen of Troy had the face to launch 1,000 ships, but only Adeline of Georgia could launch the great Gildersleeve on a mission this perilous. to convince the Jolly Boys that a woman should be admitted to their club meeting tonight.
Hope the other Jolly Boys aren't as hard to convince as I was. She kissed me. Wish I'd thought to kiss her back. She better not try any of that funny stuff when I take her home from the club tonight. Well, hello, Judge. I'm glad I found you in.
Oh, hello, Gildersleeve.
Horace, old man, I've great news for you and our fella Jolly Boys. I've arranged something very special for you tonight. But first, I want to return your diamond stick pin. I polished it and everything.
Thank you.
Yeah, some of the green came off the gold. I hope you don't mind. What's the matter, Horace? You aren't your usual jolly self this morning.
Jolly? A person whom I considered one of my best friends turned me away from his table last night, Gildy.
Oh? Where'd you disappear to, Horace? We had plenty for everybody.
So I was told.
Huh?
What's on your mind, Gildersleeve? I'm a busy man.
Well, Judge, old friend, I thought, just for fun, mind you, I'd bring a lady to the Jolly Boys Club tonight, just for fun.
What? Why would you bring a woman to the Jolly Boys Club?
To play the piano. Why else?
Not Adeline Fairchild.
We could use a good piano player.
I'll fight it, Gildersleeve.
No, Judge.
I'll fight it.
All right, you're not the only Jolly Boy. I'll put it to a vote. The others will want Adeline to come.
I'll fight it with every ounce of my strength.
All right, fight it with both ounces. Hello, Peavy.
Hello, Mr. Gildersleeve. What can I do for you today?
Well, let's see. You might rustle me a cold tongue sandwich and then lend me an ear, Peavy.
Coming up, one cold ear sandwich.
Yes,
What did you say, Mr. Gildersleeve?
I said lend me an ear, Peavy.
That's what I thought you said.
It's an old Roman expression.
Yes, I know that.
It means, listen, I have news for you. And the news is we have a piano player coming up to the club tonight.
Well, I know that, too. Floyd always comes up. Lend me an ear for silly sake.
Peavy, I come in here with good news and you nearly bite my head off. What's wrong with everybody today?
I guess I should apologize, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh?
I left the house a little out of sorts this morning.
Oh?
Yackety, yackety, yackety.
Oh? What's the matter? Was your parrot wound up this morning?
No, but Mrs. Peavy's sister was. Came over before breakfast to tell Mrs. Peavy about her new washing machine. Yackety, yackety.
Yeah. I get the idea, Peavy.
I tell you, Mr. Gildersleeve, it was a relief to get out of the house. The parrot asked to come along, too.
Well, some women do like to talk.
Well, just think, Mr. Gildersleeve, in a few hours we can get away from it all up at the Jolly Boys Club.
Yeah, oh, yes, up at the Jolly Boys Club.
Up to our eagle's nest, where men can be men and women fear to tread.
Women do it. Oh.
There you are, tongue on rye. Now then, what's your big news?
Big news? Well, you're not prejudiced against all women, are you?
Oh, no, Mr. Gildersleeve. Some of my best customers are women.
Oh? Now then, what would you say if I brought a nice, attractive lady up to the club this evening to play the piano for us?
A woman? Well, now, that's your question.
Just as I thought. You and Hooker, a couple of old-fashioned old goats.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
Yes, you are, Peavy. I suppose you still think woman's place is in the home.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that either. But whenever I go home, there she is. And sometimes her sister, yackety, yackety.
All right. That's the way you feel, Peavy. I'll talk to Floyd.
Shave, huh, Commish?
Yes, Floyd. I wanted to talk to you about something, too.
Yeah, I knew something was bothering you. Bobby can tell.
Oh?
Hey, wait till I tilt you back on my chazy lounge, just like they do in the movies. Yeah. The first real psychiatrist, the barber.
Oh?
Fixes everything from black eyes to broken homes.
Well, this has nothing to do with those things.
That's it. Settle back into Morpheus whilst I lather you up, Commish. Now then, tell Dr. Munson your problem.
Well, Floyd?
I know. Dames, ain't it?
How did you know it was a woman, Floyd?
You're a man, ain't you? If it wasn't for dames, man would rule the earth. Any licensed barber will tell you that. Her initials couldn't be Adeline Fairchild, could they?
Oh, Floyd, how much of this do you know?
I know all of it, Commish. The judge was in, hot under the collar. Said you was scheming to smuggle a dame upstairs to the club. You're a smooth one.
Not smuggle exactly, Floyd. Not exactly a dame either.
Anyway, I'm for it, Commish. I'm on your side, pal. Put her there.
Really?
Yep.
Well, thanks, Floyd. I appreciate your attitude.
Sure. I didn't say anything to make the judge sore, you understand, but I let him know I thought women was okay upstairs. After all, I'm the proprietor. It's my building and my piano.
Sure.
Got a right to make the rules.
Piano. Floyd.
Yeah?
About the piano.
Yeah.
Well, Miss Fairchild might want to play the piano to accompany the quartet while you're resting.
Play the piano. Now, wait a minute, Commish. Next thing I know, the dame will want my job singing tenor.
What?
No, sir. I cast my vote the other way. I'm on the judge's side.
But, Floyd...
No, sir. Little Floydie Munson don't get off the stool if Josie Turvey drops up.
Floyd, don't be so vain about your piano playing. It's lousy and you know it.
Lousy?
Yes.
Commissioner Gildersleeve, women is no dice.
What?
They ain't allowed on the second floor of this building.
You, Benedict
And
Arnold, a minute
furthermore,
ago, you
I
told me
tell
that my...
Huh?
What's this I hear? Two jolly boys arguing right before our big barbershop quartet meeting? Ho, ho, ho.
Hello, Chief.
Hiya, Chief. Get a load of the commish here trying to bring a woman up to the meeting.
What's this, Commissioner?
Well,
We're supposed to be rehearsing for the contest.
Just a minute, Floyd. The Commissioner may have something there.
What?
Huh?
Not a bad idea to have a little audience to sort of give us seasoning so we don't get stage fright.
Yeah, but he wants the dame to play piano for us.
Oh. Well, let's not fight about that, fellas.
Huh?
According to the Barbershop Society rules and regulations, we can't use a piano at their contest.
What?
No piano?
No, that's right. All the quartets sing a cappella.
A cappella.
All they use is a pitch pipe to get started. So, that's the way we'd better practice tonight.
Well, I'll be darned.
No piano, eh?
I hope you're not too disappointed, fellas, but that's the rule.
Me? I'm not disappointed at all, Chief. Finish me up, Floyd. And so that's the way it is, Adeline. Can't change the contest rules.
Well, I won't say I'm not disappointed, Throckmorton, but I do understand. And it'd be silly for me to just sit around there with no piano to play while you men just sang away.
Yeah, that wouldn't be much fun.
Unless I came up and tooted the pitch pipe for you. No, I guess not. Well, you just run along.
I hate to
then.
do this.
Well, you're sweet. You might call me in the morning, though, to see if little Adeline survived a Saturday night left all alone.
Yeah, I will. I'll call in person. Perhaps we can read the funny papers together.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Good night, then.
Good night. George, there's a happy solution to everything. I'll have a good time with the boys at the club tonight and see Adeline tomorrow. That's the way I planned it in the first place. Women are fine, but there's no place like the Jolly Boys Club on Saturday night. Well, they've started already. Doesn't sound too bad. The Wabash. They sure need me.
Hey, that was great. Why did you think I broke that tenor?
What's that? Women! Mrs. Munson! Mrs. Gates! Hundreds of women!
Well, Commissioner, welcome.
Chief, what's going on here?
Hiya, the chief thought you had such a good idea there, he suggested we all invite our women.
What? The girls
Yeah.
even whipped up a spread, Commissioner, see?
Sure did.
Come on in, Commissioner. Even the judge has got a girl.
What a clam bake. Peavy, who's that talking to your wife?
Talking is right. That's old Yakety Yakety.
Ziff.
You care for a Coke? I'm just down 3.
No, thanks, Peavy. I'm getting out of here.
Hey, Commish, where's the Southern Belle? I'd like to play chopsticks with her.
Oh, this is the worst idea I ever had.
The great Gildersleeve will be back in just a minute. When unexpected guests drop in, is it a mad scramble to scare up some snacks? Not if you have Kraft's famous cheese food, Velveeta. Just get out a package or a 2-pound loaf of Velveeta, slice it for sandwiches, or spread it on crackers or toast it on bread. Who could ask for a better snack? Velveeta has a rich, mild cheddar cheese flavor that everybody likes. This delicious cheese food is mighty nourishing, too. It helps supply high-quality, complete protein, food energy, and other important milk nutrients. And it's as digestible as milk itself. So, be prepared. Keep a handy half-pound package of a big economical 2-pound loaf of Velveeta in your refrigerator. Be sure you get genuine Velveeta because you can depend on Kraft for quality.
Hello, Adeline? Throckmorton. I'm phoning from a filling station. Adeline, I've changed my mind. If it comes to a choice between you and the Jolly Boys tonight, well, I just couldn't force myself to go up there. So I'll be right over in What? But Adeline, who's McIntyre? I'll be over tomorrow then with the funny papers. Women, they're fickle. Good night, folks.
The Great Gildersleeve is played by Harold Perry. And, folks, you might be interested to know that our popular water commissioner here in Summerfield has just been appointed water commissioner of Arcadia, California, also.
That's right.
Congratulations, Hal. We're proud of you.
Well, thanks, John. Some people have 2 shows, but I'll bet I'm the only one with 2 water departments. Thank you. Anyway, it's a great honor. Thank you, Arcadia, California. And I'll never resign unless it's under pressure. The water, I mean.
Adeline Fairchild is played by Miss Una Merkel. The show was written by John Elliott and Andy White with music by Jack Meakin. Included in the cast are Walter Tetley, Louise Erickson, Lillian Randolph, Earl Ross, and Richard LeGrand. This is John Wall saying goodnight for the Kraft Foods Company, makers of the famous line of Kraft quality food products. Tomorrow night, Clifton Webb will be Al Jolson's guest on the Kraft Music Hall, heard over most of these NBC stations.
Oh, Cliffy.
Don't miss it. Remember, tomorrow night. For exact time, see your local paper. And be sure to listen in next Wednesday and every Wednesday for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Good night, Arcadia.
For a main dish that saves you money, saves you time, and pleases the folks, get Kraft Dinner. In just 7 minutes cooking time, Kraft Dinner gives you swell macaroni and cheese. It's fluffy light macaroni with fine cheddar cheese flavor through and through. And the cost is only a very few cents a serving. Every box of Kraft Dinner gives you both ingredients for that swell macaroni and cheese that you cook in 7 minutes flat. So for fast meals, for good meals, for thrifty meals, get Kraft Dinner.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
The Kraft Foods Company presents Harold Perry as the Great Gildersleeve.
Yeah.
Gildersleeve is brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company, makers of the famous cheese food Velveeta. Everybody goes for Velveeta's rich yet mild cheddar cheese flavor in snacks, in sandwiches, and in hot dishes. And hidden in that swell cheese flavor are important nutrients from milk. That's why smart homemakers keep Velveeta on hand regularly to spread or slice and to melt for grand economical main dishes. Tomorrow, get Velveeta, the cheese food of Kraft quality. Well, it's almost midnight in the little town of Summerfield. The streets are quiet and deserted, except for one lone figure. It's our pudgy friend, the great Gildersleeve, wending his way home after an evening of fun and song with the Jolly Boys.
I had a real nice time tonight. Jolly Boys are a swell bunch of fellas, all right. Even Judge Hooker isn't so bad. Not his fault he's such a big bag of wind. Nice to be getting home, though. Little bed's gonna feel much. Well, there's a lamp on in our living room. Wonder who's up at this hour. Playing the radio so late. Marjorie!
Hello, Unky.
What are you doing up so late? Do you realize it's almost midnight?
It is?
Yes, it is. Now get right up to bed, young lady, immediately. You should have been asleep hours. Marjorie?
Yes?
Have you been crying? What's the matter, my dear?
Nothing, Unky. It's just that I'm so happy and the music's so beautiful.
Yeah, well, it's late, my dear, and you have to go to school tomorrow. I'm afraid we'll just have to turn the radio off now.
Oh, Unky.
I'm sorry, Marjorie, but a girl your age should have 8 hours sleep every night.
Unky.
Yeah?
Please sit down for a minute. I want to talk to you.
Now, Marjorie, we can talk in the morning. You really should.
Please, Uncle Mort.
Well, all right, my dear. Now.
Unky, did you ever have the feeling that you were just starting to live for the first time? That suddenly everything in the world had become beautiful, and everywhere you went you heard violins?
Violins? Well, no, not exactly.
It's a wonderful feeling. Sometimes you're happy.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes you're sad.
Oh.
But even when you're sad, you're really happy. Do you understand what I mean?
Oh, sure, of course. Marjorie, who have you got a crush on this time?
It's not a crush, Unky. I'm really in love.
Oh, sure. Who is it? That Wally Hoff boy?
Wally Hoff, that callow youth. I'm in love with someone who's sophisticated, charming, well-groomed.
Well-groomed? Couldn't be Wally Hoff. His shirt tail's always hanging out. Well, what boy is it?
He's not a boy. He's a man.
What? Who is he?
Our new French teacher.
Oh, my goodness, Marjorie, aren't you being a little silly? A crush on a teacher?
Andre is a man I can look up to.
Andre?
That's his name, Andre Marcel.
Marcel? Sounds like a French barber.
He's wonderful.
Now, Marjorie, this whole thing is ridiculous. A young girl like you.
I'm 17.
That's too young to be falling in love with some middle-aged school teacher.
What if he is 27? I love him.
Now, Marjorie, let's be sensible. If you must fall in love, why don't you pick out a boy your own age? How about Ben? You used to like him.
Oh, Ben's sweet. But when he walks in a room, he just doesn't make bells ring.
Bells ring? What do you want, a good humor man?
You just don't understand, Unky. I'm not a child anymore. I'm a woman. And I'll love Andre Marcel until the end of time.
You'll do no such thing.
I realize, Uncle Mort, you were only trying to do your duty.
Marjorie?
But I must tell you that nothing you can say or do will make any difference. I love Andre and, well, I'm sure that he'll love me one day.
If you don't stop carrying on this way, I'll see that you drop out of that French class and take Spanish.
I won't take Spanish.
You will.
I won't.
Young lady, you go to bed.
I won't take Spanish. I won't.
Oh, my goodness. Why couldn't she have a woman French teacher? Andre Marcel.
Throckmorton?
Huh?
What's the matter with you? Why, you've been sitting here all evening and you've hardly said boo.
I'm sorry, Adeline. Boo.
Not very flattering to a girl when a gentleman caller doesn't pay her any mind.
Adeline, I have a problem.
You do? Now you tell Adeline what's putting those furrows in your little old forehead.
Well, it's Marjorie.
What's the trouble with her?
She's in love again.
My goodness, is that all?
She's in love with one of her teachers at the high school.
Well, now, I wouldn't worry. Every schoolgirl goes through that. I know I did. Why, I fell madly in love with my history teacher just because he had a cute little mustache.
I remember my history teacher, Miss Simpson. She had a mustache, too, but I didn't fall in love with her.
Now, I'm sure that Marty will get over it.
I don't know if she will or not. I've never seen her take it like this before. Last night, she didn't sleep. Today, she just picked at her food. Walked around the house like a zombie.
Well, that's just the way I was, but I got over it.
You did?
Yes, a young fellow my own age came along, Stonewall Holloway, and I soon forgot all about that history teacher. Youth called to youth, and I answered. Isn't there any young blade here that Marjorie might be interested in?
Well, there's Ben. He's a boy that runs a filling station. Marjorie's been falling in and out of love with him since she was 12. I think he's getting a little discouraged.
Well, maybe if you got them together again, they might rekindle the flame.
Well,
I didn't think I could care for Stonewall either, but he carried me away like a tidal wave.
Oh, well, Ben's no tidal wave, but could ask him over, I guess. Certainly wouldn't do any harm.
And Throckmorton, maybe there's another reason Marjorie's in love.
What's that?
It's spring.
Huh?
In the spring, a young girl's fancy lightly turns to love.
Yeah?
That goes for older girls, too. Yes, spring's the time for romance. That's when sweethearts think of getting engaged, then getting married.
Well, thanks for the advice about Marjorie. You've been very helpful. Good night.
Well, I declare, wonder why he left in such a hurry.
Hello, Ben.
Oh, hello, Mr. Gildersleeve. Be right with you.
Yeah, just act kind of casual, like I just happened to drop in.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Morning, Ben. Just came in for some gas.
All right.
That's the reason I came in. Need gas.
Sure. How many?
Well, just a minute. I'll check the gauge. It's funny. Seems to be full. Guess I don't need any.
Oh, well, okay. See you next time.
Yeah. Maybe you can wipe my windshield if it isn't too much trouble.
Oh, I'll be glad to.
And, Ben, we haven't seen much of you lately. Why don't you drop over sometime?
Well, thanks, Mr. Gildersleeve. I will sometime. Here, that's pretty clean now. Want me to wipe the inside, too?
Oh, yeah. Very good idea. Why don't you come over and see us real soon, Ben?
Well,
Of course, I don't want to rush you, but how about tonight?
Gosh, I don't know. I was going to go bowling tonight.
I don't want to rush you, Ben, but we'd sure like to see you. Everybody's been asking me what became of Ben. The whole family. Bertie, Leroy, and Marjorie.
Marjorie? Asked about me?
She was talking about you just the other night.
She was?
Yeah. Marjorie thinks a lot of you, Ben.
Well, I don't know. She didn't act much like it last time I was over.
Oh? Well, all women are a little flighty, but we understand them, don't we, my boy?
Well, I'm not sure I do.
I know Marjorie will be glad to see you, Ben.
Well, I'm not so sure. After what she said the last time I saw her.
Oh? What'd she say to you?
Drop dead.
Oh, well, she was only kidding.
Oh, I don't know. She said it twice.
A girl talks like that to a fellow, Ben. It shows she's really interested in him.
It does?
Sure. If she wasn't interested, she wouldn't care if you dropped dead or not.
Gee, I never thought of it that way.
I speak from long experience, Ben. When women get mad at you, that's a good sign. It shows they really care.
Well, if that's the case, Margie must be crazy about me.
Sure. Well, what do you say, Ben?
Well, I'll take a chance, I guess.
That's the spirit. Goodbye, Ben. See you tonight. Well, it's it's nice spending an evening at home, isn't it, children?
Yeah, it's all right.
Don't you think it's nice, Marjorie? Marjorie,
What? Oh, yes.
what are you doing way over there in the corner?
Just thinking.
I know. I bet she's thinking about that French guy, Monsieur or Marcel.
You shut up.
Bonjour, mademoiselle. Oui, oui.
Leroy, that'll do. You staying home tonight, Marjorie?
I guess so.
Well, that's good.
Why?
Why? No particular reason. Just nice to have you here, that's all.
Uncle Mort, what are you...
Belle. Well, I wonder who that is.
I'll get it.
No, I'll get it, Bertie. Can't imagine who it is.
Well, good evening, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Well, what a surprise. It's Ben.
What?
Come on in, Ben. Marjorie, it's Ben.
Hiya, Ben.
Hello, Leroy. Hello, Marge.
Hello.
Well, Ben, glad you happened to drop by.
But this morning...
Yeah, sit down, Ben. Make yourself at home.
Thanks.
Certainly like old times having Ben over here, isn't it, Marjorie?
Yes.
Hey, you're looking swell, Marge. How you been?
All right.
How's school?
All right.
Oh, she just loves school, especially French.
Leroy? Ben, maybe you and Marjorie would like to go to a movie.
It's okay with me. How about you, Marge?
No, thanks. I have some homework to do tonight. In fact, I should be doing it right now.
Oh. Well, okay. I wouldn't have come over if your uncle hadn't invited me.
I thought so. Uncle Mort.
No, Marjorie.
I wish you'd stop trying to arrange my life.
Look here, young lady, you're still...
I'm perfectly capable of handling my own affairs.
Well, guess I better be going.
Stay right here, Ben.
Yeah, you keep out of this.
I don't have to.
I won't stand for it.
I've had enough of this, young lady. You're going to listen to me. Do you understand?
Good night, everybody. Guess I'll go bowling.
Ben, come back here.
I won't be treated like a child.
Ben.
I'm an adult.
Get her.
Leroy.
Nobody understands me in this house. Andre would understand.
Oh, I should have gone bowling with Ben.
Back to the great Gildersleeve in just a minute. One smart way of keeping the food budget in line is to use up the leftovers. Glamorize them into another good dish the family will go for. And you can turn that trick easily with a rich-tasting cheese sauce made with Kraft's Cheese Food Velveeta. With delicious Velveeta sauce, you can stretch leftover chicken or fish or seafood or ham or veal into another swell main dish that the family will applaud. Here's all you do to make that wonderful sauce. In the top of your double boiler, melt 1/2 pound of Velveeta, the cheese food with a rich yet mild cheddar cheese flavor. You can use the 1/2 pound Velveeta package, or you can slice off a 1/2 pound from your 2-pound Velveeta loaf. When the Velveeta has melted, stir in 1/4 cup of milk and season the sauce to taste. That's all there is to making Velveeta sauce to stretch leftover meats. And say, is that sauce licking good on vegetables and eggs, too? What's more, Velveeta sauce is mighty nutritious, rich in valuable nutrients from milk. Better get your refrigerator stocked with Velveeta for both thrifty cooking and snacks and sandwiches. Velveeta's so handy to have, so good, so nutritious. It's made by Kraft, you know, and you can depend on Kraft quality. Relations are somewhat strained around the Gildersleeve household this morning. At the moment, the great man is having breakfast with Leroy and Marjorie. A very quiet breakfast. In fact, Marjorie isn't talking at all.
Sleep well last night, Marjorie? Marjorie, your old uncle is talking to you. What's the matter, Leroy?
It's sure quiet around here.
Quiet? I hadn't noticed it. Young man, you finished your breakfast. You may go to school.
Okay. Goodbye. Or as they say in French, Chevrolet Coupe.
Leroy! Oh, dear. That boy. Marjorie. Marjorie, I just invited Ben over last night for your own good. All right. If you don't want to talk to me, you don't have to. It's all right with me. Marjorie.
Yes, Unky.
You know I don't want you to be unhappy, don't you?
Yes.
I just think when a girl like you thinks she's in love with an older man, well, it just leads to unhappiness. That's all. And you're liable to get hurt.
What makes you think that?
It stands to reason that an older man like this Andre Marcel wouldn't be interested in a schoolgirl.
Well, Unky, I wasn't going to tell you this, but I think Andre's in love with me, too.
What?
In fact, I'm sure he is.
What do you mean? Did he say so?
No, but a girl can always tell.
Uh-huh.
It's just the way he acts around me. He's so gentle and understanding.
Oh, I see.
And yesterday, when I got up to recite, I didn't know my French verbs, and he didn't get angry at all. He just gave me the sweetest smile.
Oh, he's madly in love with you, all right.
You just don't understand, Uncle Mort.
My dear, I'm afraid you're just letting your imagination run away with you. Mr. Marcel is just being nice to you, that's all. That doesn't mean necessarily that he...
Gildersleeve.
Yes, Bertie?
Here's the mail.
Oh, thank you, Bertie.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me. Let's see here. What's this?
What's the matter, Unky?
It's a letter for me from Andre Marcel.
Oh, Unky!
I wonder what
Open it. What did he say?
Wait a minute. Dear Mr. Gildersleeve, I hesitate to write you this note, but after giving it much thought, I decided it's the best thing to do. This is a matter which cannot be postponed any longer. May I call upon you this evening? I must talk to you about Marjorie. I hope you'll understand. Sincerely...
Oh, Unky, I was right about Andre.
Huh?
He wants to see you about me. He does love me.
He does? Hello, Peavy.
Oh, hello, Mr. Gildersleeve. How are you this fine spring morning?
Yeah, not too good.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, the advent of spring does seem to affect some people. It causes sluggishness, loss of appetite.
I feel all right, but spring has certainly done something to Marjorie.
Well, they say it does have more effect on young people. Now, if I might make a suggestion, I have a spring tonic here.
Peavy, a spring tonic is not going to do Marjorie any good.
No, it's a very good tonic. It contains oil of juniper, sassafras root.
Peavy, if you'll just listen for a moment. Marjorie's in love.
Oh. Well, that happens pretty often in the spring, too. In fact, that's the time of year I met Mrs. Peavy. You might say it was the spring that made me fall. That was a little witticism.
I know.
Spring made me fall.
I heard you the first time. You don't understand, Peavy. Marjorie's serious about this thing. And she's in love with him.
Mrs. Peavy was serious, too.
I don't care about Mrs. Peavy.
Mr. Gildersleeve, I don't think that's a very nice thing to say.
Oh, Peavy, I didn't mean...
Mrs. Peavy may have her little peculiarities, but none of us are perfect.
But you don't understand.
And she is my wife.
I know that.
Well, don't forget it. And you can take it from me, Mr. Gildersleeve. Mrs. Peavy has many fine qualities. She's loyal, thrifty, neat as a pin.
Peavy, you misunderstood me. I'm sure Mrs. Peavy is the most wonderful wife in the world.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, good God. But, Judge, Marjorie's too young to even be thinking about getting married.
Now, we don't know that she is thinking about it.
Well, she thinks she's in love.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean she's going to get married. Look at you. If you married every woman you thought you were in love with, you'd have more wives than Carter has pills. And some of your women were pills.
This is no time for your heavy-handed humor, you old goat.
All right. Well, the first thing to do is not to let Marjorie know that you oppose this idea.
But, Judge, suppose when this Marcel fella comes over tonight, he asks me if he can get engaged to Marjorie.
Well, don't oppose that either.
What?
No. Don't get yourself in a tizzy. Even if they do get engaged, it'll be several years before they could get married, and I'm sure that Marjorie will come to her senses long before that.
Yes.
On the other hand, if you try to break up this romance, you'll only bring them closer together. Why, they might even elope.
Elope? Oh, my goodness.
So the thing for you to do is act like you're very happy about the whole thing. As far as that goes, Gildy, remember the time will come when Marjorie will get married. In fact, someday somebody will marry Leroy.
I doubt that.
You might as well face the facts, Gildy. They don't stay children forever. Someday little Marjorie will be slowly walking down the aisle, dressed in white.
Yes.
You'll be escorting her. A little sad, perhaps, but proud.
Okay, Judge.
We'll all wipe away a tear when the organ starts to play that sweetest song of all.
Oh, brother. Yes, my dear.
What time is it?
It's almost 8.
Oh, I'll be right down.
Well, he'll be here pretty soon. Hope I'm doing the right thing. I guess I am. The judge thinks so. I wouldn't want him to elope.
How do I look, Unky?
Oh, you look lovely, my dear.
I'm so excited.
So am I.
Uncle Mort, I want you to know I think it's wonderful the way you're taking this.
Oh, well, that's the way you want it, my dear. That's all that matters. I wouldn't want you to elope. I mean...
You're sweet. And I'll never forget you for this, even when I'm a grandmother. I just can't believe this is happening to me.
Neither can I.
Well, I'll wait upstairs. You call me when he comes.
Yeah, all right, my dear.
Mrs. Marjorie Marcel, doesn't that sound wonderful?
Wonderful. Oh, dear. I wonder if Bertie's got everything ready. Bertie!
Coming. Yes, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Bertie, you'll have the tea ready to serve when Mr. Marcel gets here.
Yes, sir.
And don't forget the French pastry. He ought to like that, being French.
Yes, sir.
And Bertie, be sure your maid's cap is pinned on. Wouldn't want it to fall in the tea.
Yes, sir.
Something wrong, Bertie?
No, sir. I'm sure gonna miss Miss Marjorie.
What?
Yes, I'm sure gonna miss her.
But, Bertie, she's not going to be...
House won't be the same without her.
Look, Bertie.
I'll come in to serve breakfast, and there'll be that empty chair at the table.
Bertie.
Little old empty chair all by itself. Empty.
Bertie, this is silly. She isn't even engaged yet.
Well, I hate to see her go. I'm sure gonna miss her.
Oh,
Hi, Unc.
Oh, hello, Leroy.
Mr. Marcel here yet?
Oh, sure. He's hiding under the couch.
Huh? Oh.
Leroy, I want you to watch your manners tonight. The French are a very polite race.
Okay. Say, Unc,
Yes?
when Marjorie gets married, can I have her room?
Leroy, nobody said Marjorie was going to get... Oh, there he is. Bertie, someone is at the door.
Coming. Yes, sir. I'm sure gonna miss her.
Is Mr. Gildersleeve in?
Yes, sir. Come in.
Thank you.
He's right in there.
Gee, he's a big guy.
There's two of us. Shh.
Mr. Gildersleeve?
Yes? Good evening.
I'm Mr. Marcel.
How do you do? This is my nephew, Leroy. Marjorie's brother. Guess you'll be seeing a lot of him.
Hello, Leroy.
Hello?
Well, won't you sit down?
Oh, thank you.
We're going to have some tea and French pastry later on. Thought you'd like French pastry being French.
Oh, well, my parents were French. I was born in Boston.
Oh, guess I should have got baked beans. Well, I suppose you're wondering where your little Marjorie is. She's upstairs. I'll call her.
Oh, well, if you don't mind, Mr. Gildersleeve, I'd rather speak to you alone. It would be easier that way.
Oh, yes, I suppose it might make you a little nervous having other people around at a time like this.
Well...
That's all right, I understand. Leroy, will you excuse us, please?
Sure.
Leroy, that means you're supposed to leave the room.
Oh, I get it.
Well, Mr. Gildersleeve, I don't know quite how to begin this, but I think when a teacher feels this way about one of his students, it's only fair to consult with a parent.
That's right. Parents are usually pretty understanding about these things, my boy. And I want you to know that whatever is best for Marjorie and you is all right with me.
Oh, I'm glad you feel that way. You know, I think a lot of Marjorie.
Yeah, so I understand.
That's why I've been so concerned lately about the way she's been neglecting her work in my class.
Huh? Her work in your class? But I thought...
She hasn't been doing her French lessons at all. Her mind seems to be on something else.
Yes, it has been.
You know, many times students have problems that we teachers know nothing about. And I thought you might know what the trouble is.
Yes, I think I do. You see, Marjorie's in love.
Oh, so that's it. Well, I know what she's going through. I happen to be in love myself. With a girl back in Boston.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I mean, it's nice being in love, especially with a girl from Boston.
Well, I hope you don't mind my coming over like this.
Not at all. You've been very helpful, and I'm sure that Marjorie will be back to normal very soon.
Oh, that's fine. I feel better now.
So do I.
Well, I'd better be going, Mr. Gildersleeve.
You're going? Oh, yes. I'll take you to the door.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Phew, what a relief. Oh, but what am I going to tell poor little Marjorie?
Hello, Unky.
Marjorie, Mr. Marcel.
I know, Unky. I was listening from the stairs.
Oh?
I guess I'd been awfully silly.
No, my dear. You're just young, and it's spring. Well, our little family is still together. Come on, Marjorie, let's have some tea. We might as well eat that French pastry. Here, have a Napoleon.
The Great Gildersleeve will be right back, folks. There's a good old American custom that we all enjoy occasionally, raiding the refrigerator. And one of the favorite foods of those hungry raiders is Kraft's famous cheese food, Velveeta. They can spread golden Velveeta on crackers or slice it thick for husky sandwiches. Or those who prefer a toasted snack love the way Velveeta melts in less than a minute. And it's good to know that Velveeta is a wholesome snack, rich in fine nutrients from milk. Digestible as milk itself, too. So keep a loafer package of wholesome, good-eating Velveeta in your refrigerator all the time. Get genuine Velveeta made only by Kraft.
Well, a strike, all right. Yeah, I could tell. Say, you're a pretty good bowler, Ben.
Thanks, Mr. Gildersleeve. Guess I was just lucky.
You're next, Marjorie.
Okay.
Here's your ball, Marge. Now take your time.
Yeah, go on, Marjorie. Throw it. Oh, my goodness, Marjorie, you missed all the pins.
You gotta take your time, Marge.
Oh, Ben, I did take my time.
No, you didn't. You rushed it, and that's what...
I'll drop dead.
Yeah, well, things are back to normal again. Good night, folks.
The Great Gildersleeve is played by Harold Perry. Adeline Fairchild by Miss Una Merkel. The show was written by Gene Stone and Jack Robinson with music by Jack Meakin. Included in the cast are Walter Tetley, Louise Erickson, Lillian Randolph, Earl Ross, Richard LeGrand, and Ben Alexander. This is John Wall saying goodnight for the Kraft Foods Company, makers of the famous line of Kraft quality food products. Listen in next Wednesday and every Wednesday for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Folks, the Red Cross drive is still on. There's still time to give, and your contribution is needed to carry on all the fine Red Cross work. Give now and give generously. Good night.
For a main dish that saves you money, saves you time, and pleases the folks, get Kraft Dinner. In just 7 minutes cooking time, Kraft Dinner gives you swell macaroni and cheese. It's fluffy light macaroni with fine cheddar cheese flavor through and through, and the cost is only a very few cents a serving. Every box of Kraft Dinner gives you both ingredients for that swell macaroni and cheese that you cook in 7 minutes flat. So for fast meals, for good meals, for thrifty meals, get Kraft Dinner.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
The Kraft Foods Company presents Harold Perry as the Great Gildersleeve. The Great Gildersleeve is brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company, makers of the famous cheese food Velveeta. Everybody goes for Velveeta's rich yet mild cheddar cheese flavor in snacks, in sandwiches, and in hot dishes. And hidden in that swell cheese flavor are important nutrients from milk. That's why smart homemakers keep Velveeta on hand regularly to spread or slice and to melt for grand economical main dishes. Tomorrow, get Velveeta, the cheese food of Kraft quality. It's April in Summerfield, when nature can hardly contain itself. Tiny green blades are shooting through the sod. Fragrant buds are blossoming on the trees. And the great Gildersleeve has burst out of his office. A little early.
Take me out to the ball game.
That's you, Miss Gildersleeve?
Well, hello, Bertie.
Your water department called. They just hung up.
Oh?
Your secretary, Miss Bessie. She said Mary Terwilliger was in after you left asking about some reports. Think you better call her back?
I don't think so, Bertie. By the time I got back to the office and got out the report, it would be tomorrow anyway. So I might as well wait till tomorrow, huh? Where's Leroy?
He's been in the refrigerator for the past half hour.
Huh? I better go pull him out before he freezes. I have a surprise for him.
Don't you go start eating too, Mr. Gildersleeve. We got stew for dinner.
Stew. Leroy.
Hiya. Just making a little sandwich.
All right, Leroy, but put back all that stuff in the refrigerator when you get through.
That's my sandwich.
Oh, my goodness. Look, Leroy, got a big surprise for you. Here, catch.
Gosh, swell, Unc. What is it?
Open the box and see.
Golly, a catcher's mitt.
Well, I promised it to you 2 years ago. Just waiting for you to grow up and the price to go down.
Golly, what a swell mitt. Official league.
Yeah, you bet. Autographed and everything. Who did A.G. Spaulding catch for, Leroy?
He made it, Unc.
Oh, he made it. Oh.
Gee, thanks, Unc. Hey, toss me that orange. Let's see how it works.
Orange? We shouldn't do this in the kitchen, my boy, but just once. All right, here it comes.
Oh, boy, I'll never miss one with this big mitt. Let me step back a little.
Now, Leroy.
Just one more. Let it come.
Well, just one more, then.
What are y'all doing out here in my kitchen?
Baseball season, Bertie.
Here, Bertie, catch.
Watch out, Leroy.
Leroy, don't you... Oh, Leroy, just look at that right in my stew.
Leroy.
Gosh, she muffed it, huh?
Leroy, Bertie don't allow no ball playing in the kitchen. That's one thing. Bertie don't allow ball playing in the kitchen and oranges in the stew.
Yeah, well, we're sorry,
It's
Bertie.
fine to be sorry, but no ball playing in here. This is Bertie's kitchen. This ain't no Yankee Stadium.
You hear that, Leroy?
Mr. Gildersleeve, what would you think if Bertie served you stew with oranges in it?
The stew, now, Bertie.
Bertie can't get dinner with oranges flying all around the place. This is Bertie's kitchen. This ain't no Yankee Stadium.
Bertie, we're...
Mr. Gildersleeve, do you know what this is?
Yes, Bertie, of course.
That's right, Bertie's kitchen. It ain't no Yankee Stadium.
You hear that, Leroy? No Yankee Stadium. Let's go play outside.
Hey, Leroy, let me catch one with the mitt. You're too little, Craig.
Here comes the curve, Leroy.
Hold it, Unc. Here comes Piggy with his bat. I get the bat, then. I'm first up, Piggy. Hey, look, Pig. No mitt.
Come on, Piggy, get in the game. We need a bat.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve. Hey, keen mitt, Leroy. Let me catch a few.
Now, Piggy, it's my turn.
But gosh, Unc, I just got it.
Well, who bought it for you?
Unc.
All right, you shouldn't be playing in the streets anyway. Break it up. Go home, fellas. Let's all go home.
Okay, here's the mitt.
Well, I'll just catch a couple if you want me to.
I get the bat, then.
Here's the bat, Leroy. I'll pitch.
Hey, Leroy, I'm up first. You up first. One, you can't hit anything, Craig. I'm up. I'll tell my father, bat hog.
Now, Craigie.
Go tell your father.
Now, Leroy.
I want a bat, bat hog.
Now, Craig, that Leroy bat. He gave up his mitt, didn't he? You have to be a good sport and give something up, too.
Okay, I'll catch then.
You will not. Pitch it across, Piggy.
I want to catch. If you don't let me catch, I'll cry. Ah!
All right, catch. Leroy, give me the bat.
What, for corn's sake? Step up to the plate, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Plate? Where is it?
Right there, the manhole cover.
Oh, standing on it. Gotta go on a diet. Let her come, Piggy.
Okay. Hey, wait a minute. Here comes the car around the corner. Oh, don't hit it.
How do you like that? A home run? Oh!
Yeah, right through the windshield. Gosh, he's getting out of his car, Unc. Come on.
Leroy, stay with me and face the music.
Well, Commissioner Gildersleeve.
Oh, Mayor Terwilliger, we should have run Leroy. Oh, hello, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, this is the way you get your reports in. What do you have to say for yourself, Gildersleeve? Gildersleeve, this is an outrage. Out here with the boys breaking windshields. Why, I nearly lost control of my car. You encourage these boys to play baseball in the streets?
Oh, no, Mr. Mayor. As a matter of fact, I was just telling them they shouldn't be playing in the streets. I said, break it up, didn't I, Leroy?
But gosh, there's no place else to play.
What's this?
That's right, Mr. Mayor. We don't have any place else to play. I mean, they don't.
Nonsense, Gildersleeve. The city provides parks for recreation. Why, we build a number of baseball diamonds.
They're always full.
Oh?
Yeah, the city leagues are always using the parks. Yeah, the big guys.
Well, looks like the big guys monopolize the city streets, too. What are we going to do about this, Gildersleeve?
Do about it? Well, I'll pay for the windshield, Mr. Mayor.
Well, I know that. You'll get the bill.
Yeah.
But what are we going to do about these kids playing in the streets? It's a deplorable condition.
I quite agree with you.
Good. Why don't you do something about it?
Me?
You're the one city commissioner who seems to have time for this sort of thing, so let's see some results. I didn't see any around your office this afternoon, Gildersleeve.
Well, I considered this a more deplorable condition, like you said, Your Honor. Mr. Mayor, we have to get a ball diamond for the boys.
Well, Commissioner?
Well, I'll get it.
Fine. Let's get it done, Gildersleeve.
Oh, depend on me. And, Mr. Mayor?
Yes?
When you get in the car, would you mind throwing our ball back?
Sit down, Gildy. What's on your mind?
Well, I have something important to discuss with you, Judge.
Must be important if you wanted me to give up my bowling tonight. What is it?
Well, the mayor has put me on a special project.
Special project? Mm-hmm. You mean at last he's found out the water department can run itself?
Now, Horace, this is no laughing matter. The boys in this town need a place to play baseball, and I'm going to see that they get it. We have to keep them off the streets.
Wonderful, Gildy. When did you become so public-spirited?
I broke the mayor's windshield.
So I heard.
Well, it wasn't very funny, Judge, believe me.
No, I'm sure it wasn't, Gildy. I've never approved of boys playing in the streets. It's extremely hazardous.
You said it.
This town has long needed someone to direct the activities of our young people.
You're right, Judge.
I've often thought, what a fine thing it would be if Summerfield had a boys' club.
Boys' club?
And I stand ready to heed the call whenever the community looks to me.
All right, Judge. I'm not asking you to take over. I just want some advice. The mayor's put me in charge.
As I say, Gildy, anything I can do.
Yes. Judge, you know the real estate situation. Who's got some vacant property big enough for a baseball diamond?
Nobody in our neighborhood. Pieces of property that large are pretty scarce. But let's get out the maps and look.
Maps? Oh. A lot of maps there, Judge.
Well, cartography is one of my hobbies, Gildy. Let's see what we have here now.
Hey, there's a big piece of property. Who owns that?
I'm afraid that's out of the question, Gildy. That belongs to the Russians now.
Russians?
We have the wrong map.
Oh.
Now, this is the map of Summerfield.
Where?
As you see, there aren't many large areas that haven't been broken up into lots.
Wait a minute. What's that big vacant space right there? Why can't we get that?
Well, that's underwater most of the time, Gildy.
I'll have it drained. I've got the authority.
I hardly think the mayor would approve, Gildy. That's your reservoir.
It is? Yeah, better not drain that.
By the way, here's a vacant piece of property that I handle. It happens to belong to an old flame of yours, Leela Ransom.
Leela?
Just think, Gildy, if you'd married her, you'd own it now.
Yes. Let's see. It is big, isn't it? Not too far away either. 3rd Street.
Yeah, might do. And I'm sure that she'd be delighted to have the boys play there.
Good old Leela.
But as a matter of policy, in Leela's absence, I usually take up property discussions with her cousin.
Adeline Fairchild? Well, I'll take it up with her cousin myself.
Perhaps I'd better get my hat and go along with you.
You've helped enough, Judge. Now you go bowling and try to stay out of the alleys, you old goat.
Throckmorton.
Hello, Adeline.
Oh, what an excruciating pleasure. Come in.
Oh, thank you.
I was just sitting here thinking about you.
Well, I've been thinking about you.
How nice. Come on into the parlor and we'll sit down and think together.
Well, I've already done the thinking, Adeline. Now it's time to act.
Gracious, you sound so serious.
Oh, this is serious. But nothing the two of us can't work out together.
How interesting. Sit down. And I'll turn on the radio and get some dreamy music. So much nicer to talk with music. You don't have to talk so much.
Never mind the music. I'll do the talking.
Throckmorton, I just love you when you get so domineering.
Huh? Oh. Adeline, you know that big vacant lot of Leela's on 3rd Street?
Mm-hmm.
You suppose she'd turn it over to us?
To us? Mercy?
Mm-hmm. It's a wonderful lot for kids, Adeline. Just what we need.
Well, I don't know if Cousin Leela would let us have it if she knew what we had in mind. What's wrong with your own property?
My property? Oh, that's out of the question. Not even enough yard for Leroy. And we have to keep our boys off the streets, Adeline.
No girls?
Well, I had a baseball team in mind.
A baseball team? Goodness gracious. Well, of course, Grandmother Fairchild had 8 boys.
Had 8? Wait a minute, Adeline. I think you misunderstand me. The neighborhood kids need a place to play baseball, and I thought Leela's lot would be just the thing.
Oh, well, I think that's a marvelous idea, Throckmorton.
You do? Well, great.
I've been watching the boys playing in the street, and I've just worried myself sick that something terrible would happen.
It did. I mean, it is pretty dangerous. That's why I'm behind this thing, Adeline. May even organize a boys' club. An idea that came to me just a little while ago.
Well, you just go ahead and use that little old lot any way that you see fit, and I'll write Cousin Leela about it. She'll be proud of you, Throckmorton. And so is your little Adeline.
My little... how about that dreamy music now, huh? Let's relax and have fun.
Oh, Throckmorton, I just love you when you're so carefree, like a big, jolly bear.
Yeah.
Oh, you.
Nice music. Lovely.
Mm-hmm. You know, it was funny how I misunderstood you. It is a silly thought. You and me and a baseball team of our own. I don't know a thing about baseball.
You don't? Well, I'll be glad to teach you. We could make quite a game of it.
Oh? Well, what's the first thing you do?
Well, let me see. The first thing to do is to try to get to first base.
Oh, you.
Yeah.
The great Gildersleeve will be with us again in just a minute. Homemakers tell us that one of their hardest jobs is to keep getting variety into meals. For example, those daily vegetables. They do get a little monotonous when served the same way day in and day out. And here's where Kraft's smooth melting cheese food Velveeta comes to your rescue. Vegetables taste new and different when topped with a glorious Velveeta sauce. Here's the easy recipe for that sauce from the Kraft kitchen. Just melt 1/2 pound of Velveeta in the top of a double boiler. Then stir in 1/4 cup of milk. There you have a grand, smooth sauce packed with a rich yet mild cheddar cheese flavor, ready to add golden goodness and variety to almost any vegetable. It works wonders with leftovers, too. With Velveeta sauce, you can glamorize leftover bits of ham, chicken, or seafood with a taste-tempting dish that's elegant enough for guests. And don't forget Velveeta for main dishes. It helps supply muscle-building protein, milk minerals, food energy, and vitamin A. And for snacks and sandwiches, nutritious Velveeta spreads or slices and toast perfectly. Insist on genuine Velveeta when you shop. You can depend on Kraft quality. Now let's get back to things in Summerfield. Ever since the mayor lit a match under the great Gildersleeve, he's been rushing around town like a ball of fire, promoting his project to keep the boys off the streets.
Hello, Bessie? Commissioner Gildersleeve. I won't be back to the office this afternoon, Bessie. Working on my boys' club. Now you call Uncle Charlie down at the reservoir and have him take the city weed cutter over to that big vacant lot on 3rd Street and cut those weeds. No, that's all, Bessie. Any mail? A bill for the mayor's windshield. Goodbye. Probably when the mayor sees what a good job I'm doing, he won't want me to pay for it. Clerk, we'll take 3 more fielder's gloves.
Very well.
You pick 'em out, Leroy.
Oh, boy.
Will that be all, sir?
Well, let's have 2 of those Louisville slugger bats. The short ones. If we're going to have a club, we may as well do this thing right.
Gosh, who's going to pay for all this, Unc? The mayor?
The mayor? I hardly think so, Leroy. He's watching the budget these days pretty close. Election year.
Well, you don't have to pay for it, do you?
Just leave it to me, Leroy. I'll raise the money. You take the equipment out of the field.
Okay, we'll go out and practice. So long, Unc.
So long, Leroy. Let's see. 1850. Well, local merchants have been kicking in pretty well. Just need a little more now. Hello, Peavy.
Well, hello, Mr. Gildersleeve. What can I do for you this afternoon?
You can give me a donation of $5, Peavy.
$5? Just a minute. I'll go out back and see if Mr. Peavy is in.
You're in, Peavy. And I need the money for a very worthy cause. Buy baseball equipment for a boys' club I'm organizing.
Well, that sounds worthy.
You bet. Nobody has turned me down, Peavy, and your $5 will help.
Well, I've already made my bank deposit today. But let's see what we have in the cash register. No sale. Business hasn't been exactly rushing today. Not a stampede, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I understand, Peavy.
But I'll give you what I have.
Yeah?
And here's $2 I got from Mrs. Clark this morning for that marked-down hot water bottle. 50, 75, 1, 25, 30,
I better sit
31,
down.
32, 33, 34. $3.34. Were you planning on buying anything, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Me? Well, you might give me some cigars, Peavy. What the heck? Fill out the $5 with El Lobos.
The El Lobos? Think you have room in your pockets for that many?
Well, you better make it good Havanas, Peavy. The mayor's coming out this afternoon to pitch the first ball.
Oh, you're having a game this afternoon, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Oh, sure, the first one. The kids are going to choose up sides, and we're going to officially open the field.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Well, say, we need an umpire. Why don't you come on out?
Well,
We need somebody who can call him impartially, Peavy, and I've never known anybody more impartial than you.
Thank you, Mr. Gildersleeve, but I don't think I should close the store.
You don't have to close the store. Have Mrs. Peavy come down and run it. She's done it before.
No, business always seems to drop off a little when I leave Mrs. Peavy in charge.
Oh?
She has a habit of standing in the door and looking out, which isn't quite the way to get customers in.
Well, Peavy, we'll miss you out there.
Well, that's nice of you to say so, Mr. Gildersleeve.
But you should get a great deal of satisfaction out of knowing you've helped put this thing over.
That's very true.
You bet, Peavy, because this is one of the most worthy causes you could ever support.
You're perfectly right there, Mr. Gildersleeve.
And believe me, you'll never miss that $5.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
Hi, Commissioner. How's the lipid roacher of Summerfield?
Oh, well, thank you, Floyd. Then you've heard?
You bet. Great stuff, Commish.
Well,
I wish somebody'd helped us out when I was a kid. Where I lived, the railroad tracks ran right through left field.
Huh?
If you timed it right when a slow freight went by, you had a home run sure.
Well, things are just about as bad here in Summerfield, Floyd.
Yeah, I guess you could have used a freight about the time you broke the mayor's windshield, huh, Commish?
Now, Floyd.
But you're doing a great job, Commish.
Well, it's really too big a job for one man, though, Floyd. All of us businessmen have to get behind it.
Oh, I get it. How much you want?
Well, Peavy gave his all. Another 5 will just about make it. Equipment and things.
There you are. But if Lovey ever asks how much I contributed, it was 10.
10?
The cards wasn't running so good last night.
Well, thanks, Floyd. Now I'd better get out to the field. Want to be there before the mayor arrives.
Hey, you may even get a raise out of this, Commish. The mayor might even name the diamond Gildersleeve Field.
Oh, well, if the mayor should see fit to.
Hey, Unc, I've been looking all over for you.
Leroy, what are you doing here? You've been crying.
I have not been crying.
What's the matter, kid?
Those dirty guys.
Leroy, what guys?
Those dirty guys down there on 3rd Street. They chased us off our ball diamond.
What, the new field?
They say that's where they play ball, the dirty guys.
Well, we'll see about that. Come along with me, Leroy.
Okay.
Hey, Commish, I'll go with you. I've been looking for a reason to close up shop all afternoon.
Never mind, Floyd. I can handle this. Why did you let them chase you off, Leroy?
They were great big guys.
Oh, well, come along, Floyd. Wonder why Leela Ransom ever bought property over here on 3rd Street.
I was born right on this street, Commish. Some of the best fighters in town come out of this neighborhood.
Best fighters?
Uh-huh. Who chased you off, Leroy?
One was a kid named Armstrong.
Not Pug Armstrong.
Pug?
Oh, no, it couldn't have been. Must have been his son. Old Pug's with the fire department.
See? There they are, Unc, and our diamond. They chased all us kids across the street.
I see. Well, we'll soon take care of this. They can't steal our diamond after all I've put into this.
Yeah, I got $5 in it myself.
Go get your boys, Leroy. We're taking over.
Okay, Unc. Come on, kids. Uncle's here.
Good idea. All right. Who's the leader of this gang?
Hold it, fellas. What'd you say, mister?
What's the idea of you boys taking over this lot? What's your name?
Well, it's Armstrong. But look, mister.
You're just the boy I want to talk to. What's the idea of chasing these boys off this lot, Armstrong?
Hey, you ain't Pug Armstrong's son, are you?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, what do you know? Where is old Pug, anyhow?
Now, Floyd.
There he is, coming up right behind you.
Oop.
These two fellas causing a little trouble here, are they, son?
You remember me, don't you, Pug? Huh? Floyd Munson? I cut your hair many's a time.
Oh, sure. I didn't recognize you out of the barber shop. Who's your talky friend? What's your trouble, laughing boy?
Well, you see, Mr. Armstrong, I'm the water commissioner. Throckmorton P. Water Commissioner. I mean, Gildersleeve. I've gone to a lot of work to line up this diamond for our boys. Mayor's orders.
Yeah, Pug, the commish done a great job.
Yes, sir. And your boys don't have a right to chase my boys off the lot.
Yeah, we've been playing ball all the time here, way before it was ever fixed up.
Yeah.
Well, it belongs to our boys' club now. You understand, Mr. Armstrong?
Well, if your club has taken over the property, I guess that's it. But it's a pretty lousy thing to do.
We have to keep our boys off the streets.
Sure. So your kids take the diamond, and what happens to ours? They have to go play in the street.
Sure.
Hey, Commish, maybe Pug's got something there. Instead of Leroy's gang just choosing up sides, why don't the two teams play each other?
Well...
Sure. What's wrong with that?
Have a real game. That'll keep all the kids off the street.
Well, that's a good idea, but I was just getting around to it, Floyd. Let me think of these things. Who's in charge here, anyway?
I'm sorry, Commish.
Now, Pug, Mr. Armstrong, here's what we'll do.
Hey, Commish, look, the Peeve.
Well, Peavy.
Yeah, good afternoon, gentlemen.
So you did decide to come out after all.
Well, the more I thought about it, the more I didn't want to miss the game.
Good to see you, Peeve. I closed up, too.
I didn't completely close, Floyd. I left Mrs. Peavy standing in the door.
Great. You're just in time to umpire, though, Peavy.
Hey, wait a minute. What's that?
Huh? Well, the mayor.
Well, get a load of him. An escort and everything.
And look who's with him.
Judge Hooker. Good.
Well, Gildersleeve, gentlemen.
Well, hello, Mayor Terwilliger, Judge.
Hello, Gildy.
Mr. Armstrong.
How do you do?
I hope I'm not too late for the opening pitch.
Oh, no, Mr. Mayor. Glad you could make it. We're all ready.
You've done a nice job here, Gildy.
Yes, Commissioner Gildersleeve, I'm most proud and pleased. You've done a wonderful job. I see you're taking care of a lot more boys than I expected.
Well, I decided to expand the club quite suddenly.
Oh.
Yeah. See, I see you brought a photographer. Great idea.
Well, the newspapers always want a picture of the first pitch, you know. All right, you young fellas, some of you get out there in the field.
Yeah, get right out there, fellas. Here's a new ball, Mr. Mayor.
Gildersleeve, since you're behind all this, why don't you stand up at the plate and hit the first ball when I pitch it?
Oh, well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. If you're sure you want me in the photographs.
Get ready now, Gildersleeve. It's liable to come in there pretty fast.
Oh, really? Well, I'm set, Your Honor.
Slug it out of the park, Unc!
I'd miss it if I was you, Commiss, unless you want to lose your job.
All right, Floyd.
Batter up. Play ball.
Remember, Peavy, play politics. Wherever the mayor throws it, you got to call it a strike.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Here comes. Lay into it, Commiss.
Swing, Gildy.
Oh,
Foul ball.
Over.
High Winfield.
My goodness.
We'll hear from the great Gildersleeve again very shortly. When the gang at your house asks for a handout, your smartest move, Mother, is just to set out some bread and Velveeta. Let 'em fix their own snacks with Kraft's nutritious, good-eating cheese food. Let 'em spread or slice the Velveeta thick. Toast it to a bubbling gold if they like. You can stand back and smile, for although you're being an indulgent mother, you're being very wise, too. That delicious Velveeta is rich in valuable milk nutrients, digestible as milk itself. So keep stocked with packages or the 2-pound loaf. Get genuine Velveeta tomorrow.
Hey, fine game, huh, Unc? Weren't you proud of me when I hit that home run?
Well, yes, I was, Leroy.
So was I. Just think, if I hadn't, the score would have been 32-0.
Well, the other boys were a little big.
Yeah. Too bad about the mayor's windshield. Did he make you buy him another one?
No, but he was pretty hot under the collar, my boy, until my pal Pug came over and asked who my talky friend was. Good old Pug. Seriously, folks, we're going to have a great boys' club here in Summerfield, and it's a good thing for other communities to look into. And now is the time to do it. This very week, during National Boys Club Week. I know it's helped to keep Leroy off the street and out of my hair. Good night, folks.
The Great Gildersleeve is played by Harold Curry. Adeline Fairchild by Miss Una Merkel. The show was written by John Elliott and Andy White with music by Jack Meakin. Included in the cast are Walter Tetley, Lillian Randolph, Earl Ross, Richard LeGrand, and Arthur Q. Bryan. This is John Wall saying goodnight for the Kraft Foods Company, makers of the famous line of Kraft quality food products. Be sure to listen in next Wednesday and every Wednesday for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Good night.
Homemakers, here's the 7-minute solution to the main dish question. Have swell macaroni and cheese you cook in 7 minutes flat. It's Kraft Dinner. Every box of Kraft Dinner gives you both ingredients for fluffy light macaroni with a fine cheddar cheese flavor. And the price of Kraft Dinner is so low that it costs only a few cents a serving. So tomorrow, for speedy, thrifty, delicious macaroni and cheese, get several boxes of Kraft Dinner.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.